I like Alex Rodriguez, but him jumping from baseball to basketball is a little
I would have loved
crazy.
Mark Cuban to be the owner of the Cubs.
Yeah, well, that's different. Mark Cuban is a businessman and he knows how to build businesses. Alex Rodriguez, now you're going to say, well, he built businesses too. He does real estate. But Alex Rodriguez has been in the tabloids. He's always, who's he dating now? Is he back with Jennifer Lopez? I don't know how, being in front of the tabloids and being an owner of a team is going to help the NBA. Now, obviously, it's Alex Rodriguez. He's not very soft-spoken. We all know that about him. He is going to a Minnesota team that has a superstar in Anthony Edwards. How is he going to make him happy? That's the question. They just traded Karl Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks for garbage. And now he's going to figure out what he's going to do with Julius Randle, because Julius Randle is going to be a free agent. And who are they going to band together, or how are they going to draw players to want to go over there and play with Anthony Edwards when Anthony Edwards has been so outspoken over the last 2 seasons, saying that he's the best thing since sliced bread work. And we all know what Mark Lowry has done. He's bought teams and then he's decided to sell them after he buys them. How many professional sports teams has he bought? And I think it's 2 that I know of. And then all of a sudden, within years, he builds them up and then he trades them or sells them away for, a little bit more money. I don't know if this is a good combination, Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lowry, but again, it's something interesting, and the NBA is always trying to find something interesting to talk about. This is an interesting thing. As far as Glenn Taylor's concerned, I think that Glenn Taylor is going to fight this because he expects to get more money out of it, especially with all these NBA teams being what they're getting sold for now. I mean, if the Knicks were to be sold right now, the Knicks could be sold for $10 billion or more. I mean, and this is a Timberwolves team that you're selling for 2.9 billion. That for an NBA team, that's not a lot of money. As a matter of fact, the lowest baseball team, the Kansas City Royals, you could probably sell for that kind of money. So it says a lot. In the NBA, there's so much money. There's so many, when it comes to the new TV deals that they have with ESPN and TNT, there's so much money. This is a slam dunk for A-Rod, because all the money that A-Rod and Mark Lowry are throwing into, they're going to go double or quadruple their money in the next 5 to 6 years if they hold on to the team, which Mark Lowry is going to do, and he's going to say, A-Rod, it's too much for my blood. I'm going to sell the team. So I think Alex Rodriguez is sitting pretty right now. He is going to be the face of the organization. I agree with you, Joba. He is going to be a spokesman for the players. He's going to help the players out. I just don't know how good, or if it's going to 100% happen, and if it does happen for $3.29 million, I don't know how long they're hold on to the team, because in about when's the new CBA, Speedy? What is it? Another 2-3 years?
28, I think.
20. So 3 years from now, with the TV deals that they're going to have and all the new deals that they're going to be negotiating, I can't see Lowry keeping this team going after 3 or 4 years. I think they sell it and they double their money. So it's a good deal if Alex gets it for $3.2 million with Mark Lowry. It's a great
29.
business deal for Alex. 29. Right. So 4 years. And how long did he own the Marlins? What did he own Marlins for? 6-7 years? And then he sold the team? It's not
Jeter?
going to be long. Right? No, Mark Lowry.
Oh,
Lowry owned the.
Yeah, he put
I
that.
think it was like 6 or 7.
$1.2 million flamingo or whatever the hell it was.
Oh, that was so ugly.
The original home run statue.
Yes, and then he sold the team for a ton of money. So I think Mark Lowry, he's spin the wheel, make the deal. I think this is a Mark Lowry move, and Alex just wanted to jump on it, and I think it's a great deal. If Alex gets this team for $3.2 million, it's a slam dunk for them, because in 4 to 5 years, they're going to sell the team for double that. You probably look at it at $7 billion, $7.5 billion. I mean, Alex is going to make $1.5 billion off this deal. It's a great deal for Alex Rodriguez. It's just going to make him more richer. So that's the best part of it. I don't know how long they're going to hold the team. I can't see it that very long. Mark Lowry doesn't hold on to teams too long.
But that's why I said when he does something, there's a purpose and there's an end game. And I mean, it's all public, so it's not like, and Alex and I are good friends, but think about all the people Alex was involved with, right? And so the brothers, one of them gets divorced. Who's Alex getting in cohorts with? Her. So now he's talking to Stanford Business School. He's talking to places that he necessarily wouldn't have that opportunity. He moves and shakes in ways that you don't even think about. And then you see it, you're like, that makes sense. Like the dude is smart. Like there's things he does and looks at it at a different perspective of how and what he can do. Shark Tank, for example. I mean, literally this. He was one of the investors in this. So he's not stupid. There's method to his madness, and he has A-Rod Corp and all the other stuff that he does. Like it's crazy. And it's like you said, it's teaming with a guy like that has flipped stuff for $1 billion, for 700 million, 100 million, 545.
Joba, what do you think the end game is? Because I've had this thought that he wants to be a baseball owner, and that's what he really wants. He's going to do this, but I think his end goal is to eventually flip it with a guy like Laurie, because he was good at flipping it. And not that he's going to sell this team out or anything like that, but I think he wants to be a baseball owner. I mean, A-Rod is famously, gets on TV. His love of baseball just exudes for the screen. The guy loves the game more than anything else. I can't imagine that's not what his end goal is, trying to buy this team.
I think it's getting his foot in the door with kind of the sports entity aspect of it. Like, so he changed his, well, I don't even know what you would call it, perception per se, because nobody ever thought he would be as loved as he is on Fox Sports, right? Now it's like, love him. They have a great dais with those guys. Half the time I can't understand what Poppy says, but it's a great dais. And he's changed the perception about himself, and you haven't heard much about him. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of flew under the radar, changed his perception, and I think getting his foot in the door and understanding he's one of those guys, and you see it from afar. But literally, there would be times where I would look at Alex, and Alex would call the game with me. I'd be like, we would have our own signs, and he would give me one. He would play the game. He would go home and watch the game. He would record it, watch it, and then come back and, like, if there was something that happened, he would break it down for you. He's like, hey, you remember this 2-1 pitch you went in after you just went outer third 2 pitches before? Like, just the way his brain thinks is completely different. I think you may be right on owning the baseball side of it, where it's not a group type of thing. It's more of like a self-ownership, kind of like a Cuban type thing of what he did with the Mavs and how he kind of changed that. Yeah. So I could see that's what he wants to. I mean, he's 49 years old. He's not very old when it comes to, those terms. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's one of those, hey, let's get in for, like Errol said, 6-7 years, boom, I turn a quick, whatever he invested. It's like you could be an owner of something